Hello, and welcome to Global Wellness for All podcasts. My name is Laleh Hancock, and I'm going to be your host every week, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Lisbon time, as we do this journey and adventure of wellness in all parts of our lives. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Global Wellness for All podcast. I'm your host, Laleh Hancock, and I'm so excited to share my next wonderful guest with you. Her name is Mercy Gilbert, and she's one of those unique people that at an early age found herself traveling from Africa to the UK and has created miracles, has created a whole new world of possibilities for women, for the youth, and for so much more, empowering so many people and also being part of the parliament there. So, Mercy, welcome to our show. I'm so excited you're here.
Hello, how are you? I'm glad to be here.
Great. Thank you so much. Tell me, would you want to maybe share a little bit about your journey in life to kind of what brought you here and that wellness that it's created for you in your life?
Yes, well, I came from Zimbabwe at the age of 6. I'm a twin, and I went to a girls' school, and that helped me to be empowered as a woman. Well, I met a lot of amazing women there who are now in high positions. Our headmaster, she was a woman who was like a force to be reckoned with, this powerful woman, like a Margaret Thatcher kind of woman who wore heels, dressed well like an elegant lady, but she was somebody you would be more afraid of than a man. So she really inspired me to go for business. I ended up becoming a businesswoman because I had children, and because I trained as a media person, but because of having children and the working hours, I had to do business so that I could work around my children. So then when my children got older, I then entered politics. And that's where I am right now in politics. I'm a chairman in my local constituency here in the UK, the number 1 seat. So that's my journey.
Well, it's a beautiful journey, and thank you for sharing it with us. Now, I know you've had a lot of different things that have touched your life and influences that you've had. And I know that just talking to you earlier, there's this gift of people who maybe in this world and reality have been labeled as individuals with disabilities, but you and I both have a very different perspective on this. So, can you just share a little bit more about this area of your life?
Okay, yes. For me, I think a lot of times there was a time when I was at university and they wanted to check if I had a disability. And for me, they checked and found that there was no disability. But then I discovered that disabilities, people look at it negatively, especially in my community where I come from, the African community, that if you have a disability that you are an outcast. But I've discovered those people who have disabilities are actually very extremely intelligent people in society, and a lot of them they are inventors, and they are even presidents and people who've achieved phenomenal stuff. So we need to start looking at disability in a different light.
It's really interesting because I used to be a senior vice president for programs and services at a not-for-profit called Easter Seals in America. And I got to work with babies up until the age of 100 or more. 104, I think, was our oldest. And it is like bringing people together. And some had been diagnosed with special needs or disabilities, but what we found is the gift that they had just was different. And I think so many people haven't been diagnosed, but they were the different, they were the unique, they were the, like you said, the inventors, the ones who were going outside the box and were willing to bring something forward that no one else was willing to do. So, I really think our society actually needs to relook at some of the definitions, because I would call it not disabilities, but the magical abilities that people have that just looks so uniquely different. Um, so tell me, like, is there anything that you've done in terms of initiatives or anything that's been put in place under your watch to bring more of this creativity out beyond the labels or beyond anything that's been created?
Okay, yes. I was working as a trustee of the music center. So with that, I found that music, which became the label for the music center, that music changes lives, that you found that music triggered different things within the brain. So for me, I used music to help young children who have what is classified as disabilities, and you found that those children actually are genius musical prodigies. So a lot of that, you discovered a lot of young um, musical prodigies, yeah, and that also opened up doors to children getting scholarships because they had this talent which was undiscovered with music. Yeah, so that's the project I've worked on.
Which I love. And unfortunately, I have to say, the last 10 years in America, the first things that they were cutting the budgets in the education programs were PE, which is physical education, and music. But yet, those are the two things that actually brought kids to life, allowed them to have their own energy and be able to, you know what I mean, just be able to shine. So I would love, as we're looking at the future of the world, of humanity, what are these other things that we could be adding into the curriculums? Now with COVID, who knows, everything in the education system has been turned upside down, which sometimes is a great thing. It's going to get people to look at things very differently. um, but I wonder, like, are there any other projects you're working on that you want to share and let people know? Because I love the way you empower, from you being you, and then
Yes.
you having this umbrella of representing the people of the UK.
Yes. The other project I'm working on is mentoring young people to become political leaders and ambassadors, because I think it's never too early to teach children that they can be leaders of tomorrow. And I think training young people from an early age to be leaders of tomorrow is very, very important. And I'm finding a lot of young people are coming forward that they're interested in politics, they're interested in making a change in the world that they live in, and they're interested in, especially during COVID, they've seen a lot of things that they're not happy with, and they've thought, okay, the adults are not doing a good job. I'm sure I can do better, I can contribute somewhere. So that's what I'm working on at the moment, which I'm very passionate about.
That's one thing that was missing, and I think in the last few years has opened some eyes too in America and around the world, that we all need to be stewards of the earth, and we need to be able to be individuals in political positions that are there about the people again.
Yes.
Unfortunately, there's some leaders around the world that made it all about them and not really about their constituents, but some of them luckily are no longer going to be in office soon. uh, but it is like, one of the things about what I love about you is that you are listening to your constituents. You are creating things that allows to empower them and for them to actually have a greater voice in the world. And that's what we need more of. And not just for people in politics, but truly in every walk of life. Each of us needs to empower ourselves, and we need to be looking at the next generation so that they are leaders. My program, Leaders of Tomorrow, it starts at the age of 8. and goes to whatever age. And it's a mix of CEOs, massage therapists, stay at home mom and dads, 8-year-olds, 12-year-olds. And it's the magic of bringing everyone together and their ideas and being able to come up with things that have just never existed before. So I'm just curious, like, if you could maybe share a few words of, like, where do they start? I mean, these individuals who are working with you and you're mentoring, I mean, they're so lucky to have you. The other kids around the world, where can they even start to be able to learn more about, ways that they can make a difference in the world?
Well, I think one of the things, children, I think we give them not enough credit, because I think for me, when you speak to children as young as 6 years old, 12 years old, they teach me a lot more than I know. So for me, children, where I think they can start is they watch a lot of the news, what's going on, and they get involved. Here in the UK, we have youth parliament. So if you have that wherever you are, then the children send your child to youth parliament to join youth parliament and to begin to get mentored by an MP, which I'm doing at the moment, pairing young children with MPs, or get a tour of parliament. So for me, that's where to start.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And, there's so many things that different people have put in place. And I think, one of the positives of COVID is that it's gotten more and more people to be willing to be online, and more resources, more conferences, and more tools that have become available. And, both you and I are advisors on this amazing board called Hera
Yes,
City. And,
yes.
it's going to have a youth component there too. So I invite people to also go to harriscity.org. And we are creating things for the youth and looking at the youth as the leaders to partner with us and be able to reach and engage with other youth. Because, the youth don't want to hear just from adults. They want their
Yes.
peers to be there with them and share ideas. And even how they engage on social media is just so different than what we do on a day-to-day basis. So definitely want to invite people to that. Anything else? I mean, I know that you just finished a global event that brought people together. Do you want to share a little bit more about that?
Yes, that was just like mind blowing. We just had amazing people like Britain's brainiest family's mom speak, and how she learned to allow her kids to teach her and her kids to be who they are, and they're doing amazing things from early age. They've got their own companies. They're making more than a lot of adults are making or have made in their lifetime in a year, and they're just discovering themselves every day, rather than assigning our children our own visions. She said it's important for us to learn from our children who they want to be, and allow them to be who they are. Because she was saying with her daughter, she's running something to do with the Korean government in the UK. And normally, from her own Nigerian background, you only go for careers in politics, law, or medicine. So doing something like that would not have been, had she not allowed her child to be, her child would not have discovered who she was. So as parents, we need to allow our children to discover themselves and become the best versions of themselves. So that was one thing. And then another thing is not allowing schools and teachers to dictate where we're going to. When a teacher tells a child, you are not able to do this, you will never get to university, but to believe in yourself and to believe as a parent in your child, then those children, who a lot of them spoke, they're now adults, their parents believed in them, and they not only went to university, but they went to the best universities and they graduated with top marks. So for me, it's half the battle is to do with us believing in ourselves, and as parents believing in our children. So I think from that session was the greatest lessons, and for us to embrace the earth and look after the earth.
You know, you're singing to my heart right now, because this has been what made me so different as a parent. I have twin girls, and it was always about allowing them to communicate with me. Even at the age of 2, you know, I was an executive and they would listen, and then they would mimic, you know, like the stories, the conversations with clients and things of that sort. And I always said, girls, you have to choose what's going to make you happy, because
Yes.
what I chose may not be the path you choose. And you know, my twins are now 24 years old. One just started medical school. The other one has
Wow.
an amazing background in business, marketing,
Wow,
and
lovely.
management. And it really is, our kids know so much more than we give them credit for. And when you empower them to have a conversation and explore as parents, this is the one thing I say, most parents don't know where to go to look for resources, but start talking to different people. Like, sit your child down in a comfortable, easy, relaxed place, not as they're looking to submit their applications for college, okay? Much earlier in years, and
Yes.
start to get them to be curious. The curiosity is the
Yes.
key. You know, get them to explore different things. Let them go try different camps, you know, like, you know, writing camps or other things. Like,
Yes, yes, because
right.
this Britain's brain is mom, all her kids to her 7-year-olds, they're all writers, and they have their own publishing house. And her youngest son started writing from the age of 2, published his first book from the age of 2. So books, yeah, it's amazing.
I need them to come and be guests on my show. No, but it is. And do you know, there was a period of time that there was more 12-year-olds starting small businesses in America than any other age group. And even
Wow.
2000, during the crash of the market, and 2008, the small businesses, and mostly women-owned businesses, were the ones who brought the, you know, economy back up. And so this is where I always say, you are not what you think you are. You are a greater
Yes,
gift and a greater magic than you realize for the whole world and the earth. Okay, let's not forget the earth.
yes, yes,
And
yes,
when we are willing to be curious, is you open this pathway to these other possibilities. So even asking, you know, what else is possible I've never considered before, which is one of my most favorite questions from Access Consciousness, because it's like we keep going this way and we only see our choices from here.
yes, yes.
But when you start to look at what else is possible, your zone of awareness and possibilities and ideas and creativity is gonna heighten. So it just gets me so excited having this conversation.
Yeah, it's exciting, because we also had a lady who made like a Kindle stick, like the Amazon Kindle stick, and she said, you know, you need to learn to dream beyond your imagination. That who'd have thought, as a woman, she would design something that came from just a mere thought, that a thought can become the actual real thing. So, and then the men, they were they were really encouraging the women and saying, women are the focus. If we empower women, because women make the home and they're responsible for shaping the world, then we would have a better world. And that's where the focus should be, in celebrating women. And I think that's everything Hera stands for, because the woman is the center of everything and creation of everything. We create the bringing life. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you and I could have this conversation probably for many, many days, not just hours. Um, so Mercy, can you just share, like, if people would like to know more about you and would like to get more involved in some of the initiatives that you have, like, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Okay, they can reach me on my email, which is mercy415@icloud.com, or they can reach me on LinkedIn at Mercy Francis. on LinkedIn, or on Twitter is Ehosa, EHOSA, under Mercy Francis. So yeah, those are my
And all
tests.
that information is below here, guys. So you don't have to go very far. We'll have it there for you.
Thanks.
Mercy, thank you so much. And thank you for all the things that you are bringing into the world for all ages, all backgrounds, and truly what else is possible that we haven't considered yet.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all for being here and listening and watching wherever you are. And remember, please share. We want to share all of these gifts with everyone around the world so that they know something else is possible. And we look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for being here with us, whether you were listening or watching. We are so grateful for you, and we need your help. We would love to spread the seeds of wellness all around the world. Will you assist us? You can subscribe below. You can subscribe in Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. We are everywhere. And we ask, would you be willing to actually spread this to others that you may know who can actually be contributed with the tools and resources to bring more wellness into their life and into their bodies?